think that was probably, if you noticed, the main way that I was able to get in on you, waiting until you whiffed or trying to throw out a button to make you whiff and then whiff punishing, right? Until it becomes like muscle memory, then you're always going to be overthinking. So, been taking a while to get started back on doing these coaching sessions because wanted to create like an actual formula for them. So this will be the first time I'll be testing that out. But yeah, basically, what I'd like to do is to start by just running like a quick set, either like a first to 3 or first to 5. I think actually I might let's do a 5. Let's say 5 because I actually want to see if I can get as much of this information as I can. I have a bunch of things written down here. I'm going to see.
Nice. Yep.
Overall, very nice though.
Thank you. Oh, man. It worked.
Yeah, I mean, it works, right? Nice, there we go. Well, GG's on that. Yeah, so going on the list right now, I have a bunch of things that I'd like to mainly focus on. I think they're just all like pretty important aspects when playing this game. Main things are offense, defense, anti-airs, combos, footsies, adjustments, conditioning, character, game knowledge, and meter management. The main things I think I want to focus on with you today based off how we played is definitely footsies and conditioning, I would say, and adjustments. I think those are probably the main thing. Offense, I would say the only actually, I'll start with this. I'll say defense wise, I think was where you definitely showed the most strength. Anti-airs were insanely consistent, which is not something that most people can say, which is something to be happy about. Absolutely, yeah, you're absolutely welcome, because that is something that I know a lot of people struggle a lot just to even like try to understand how people DP consistently. So the fact that you were doing it, I was trying to test as many different ranges and different jump-ins that I could in weird situations. You DP'd them all, which was really good. So in that department, I think you're doing good. I would say defensive-wise, I liked your defensive decision-making a lot. It seemed like you knew what was going on in the match. It was just that sometimes defensive wise you just didn't make the right read. So I would say I think you were following pretty well. The only area in defense that I would say you were somewhat lacking happened to just be more with, I would say, conditioning, not conditioning, but more with adjustments. But that goes more into like paying attention to the things that I'm doing specifically, because I would say when it comes to your character, I think you're making a lot of the right decisions. But what I will mainly go into after that, it kind of has to do with watching my character a bit more, and that's footsies, I think, which is, I think that was probably, if you notice, the main way that I was able to get in on you was just waiting until you whiffed or trying to throw out a button to make you whiff and then whiff punishing, right? I think that was probably how I got you more than anything. Where do you feel like your footsies is? Like, what's your usual goal when you're walking somebody down? Like, do you have an idea what you want to do?
So in that match, I think specifically, I was trying to like preemptively poke you. I was like expecting you to walk into it, but it wasn't working out. You just stand outside the range every time.
Yeah.
There were a couple times that it worked out where I walked in and walked out and then was able to whiff punish you. Like, I think I understand the basic concept of footsies, but just like combining everything that goes into it while playing the game is hard.
Yeah, and that's this whole thing, right? Like, so all the things that I mentioned as well, you got offense, defense, anti-airs, all that. Like, all that stuff is, it all boils into like one thing. It's all important that you have like all of these things at once. But it's not one of those things that you get, like immediately, obviously, as you know. And it's really hard because in my opinion, until it becomes like muscle memory, then you're always going to be overthinking. You're always going to be thinking, what's the right move here? What's the right, So I think the best thing you can do is to have a really solid game plan when it goes into all of these different aspects. Like, what are you trying to get out of each match, right? Footsies wise, I would say your game plan should be, okay, this is what I want to do here, right? I want to walk him down into the corner. I like that you're doing that, right? You're walking me down, but what I would have done is to just continue walking me down if you're finding that it's working, right? Like, okay. I think you got to take the little victories with things like that. So for instance, you either have to swap what you're doing to make to alter and punish what I'm doing, or you take the little victories and you move on with them. So in my opinion, I was playing a bit too defensive because I just kept waiting. Like, I could have walked you down, but I didn't, because I wanted to see what your goal was, and I wanted to see if you would just keep walking me down, which you did. But then eventually you'd be like, all right, well, maybe now is when I take my turn. But what I was trying to show you is that in what I was doing, in my opinion, was actually incorrect. That I was walking back and I was letting you walking me forward. But that was the thing, is that instead of taking advantage of that, you kind of ended up just being like, oh, I've walked you a little bit forward, but now I'll throw out a button, right? It's like, realistically, if I'm the one walking back, then I should be the one that's scared, right? So if anything, you should be the one that's walking in and out of my range and trying to get me to do something. That doesn't mean that the whole game you play just not pressing anything, obviously, right? Like, I liked your fireball placements a lot, and that's where I was gonna say on offense, I think you did really well with fireball placements. Some of them were perfectly placed because you got a nicely spaced DP right after as well, which was exactly what you're going for with stuff like that, right? In my opinion, playing you, it made it a lot harder to get in, because at first my plan was like, all right, maybe I'll perfect parry some of these and try to punish back. But I wasn't really able to. You were doing really well with the mediums and the fast-paced fireballs, like not throwing some slow ones as well. That's good to mix them up, but I think the range that you were using medium, which was like a bit closer, it was good because I really didn't have a chance to react. Because because I think the few times I was able to jump in on you over your fireball, it's whenever you're sitting a little bit further, but not full screen, but a little bit closer, but still further than like that super close range where you're throwing out the medium fireball. That's where, in my opinion, I think it gets a little bit more predictable. But I would say don't change too much what you're doing with the fireball game. I would just say you have to be a little bit more confident with your button placements, because you either need to keep pushing me down, right, and be like, oh, this dumbass is just walking back, right, like he's just putting himself in the corner, and just see what you can do and see the safest range you can play at while continuing. Nice. We saved it. While continuing to walk me down, right? Yeah, we got there. But the truth is, like, I think in that area, you still need to play at a safe range. You still need to play at a range where you're confident with your normals and you're not whiffing. So, for instance, the higher rank that you get, the more and more people are confident with their walk placement and or their button placement, and the more confident that people are with their walk in general, right? So, I took advantage of this exact thing fighting you just now. But I just had a coaching. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say your spacing is way better than most of the people I'm fighting in ranked right now. So
right,
it's like a different beast, And
I had to go through that, so that's why that's how I got there, because I had to go through those motherfuckers. But what I was gonna say is it just gets higher and higher. Like I was gonna say, I just did a recent session getting coached by a higher level player, and I had the same issue. I couldn't hit him. I whiffed everything, right? And it makes you feel like you're like, dang, this guy's speed is crazy, right? And it's like, yes, like. Part of it is, now what he told me is, part of it is, that guy probably has really good spacing. But what it really comes down to is, regardless of how good that guy's spacing is, you need to focus on your spacing, right? So like, you need to be the one that's confident on your button placement. You need to know, oh, this is going to hit here, right? It's like, if you continuously see me walking back there, you go, okay, I'll go an extra inch right here, and then I'm going to throw out the low forward. Like, you got to test the ranges and see. It's a little bit of a, muscle memory thing, like I mentioned earlier, where you do it enough, eventually you see the situation enough, oh, this is the placement, right? Like, this is the spacing, this is where I throw it out. So it really is one of those things I think you just have to keep doing, you have to keep paying attention, and you really want to make sure that you're being aware. Because, like, there's a lot of people that play ranked, they just play games, and they're expecting to get better that way, that's fine. But realistically, like, after you play a game, you should be watching and being like, what did I do well here, right? Like, because sometimes your low forwards might work, sometimes they don't, and you might just be like, it was a bad day today. No. That's like, that should not be how it is. It should be much more like, oh, in this game I did this, right? In this game I spaced myself correctly, and I got the exact spacing I wanted for my low forward to get in. In this game, I just threw it out. I just did it, whatever. So
right,
it's a lot of ramble shit. But the point is, I really would be more aware of where you're throwing out your buttons. Like, watch your footage when you're playing matches and stuff like that when it doesn't work, and be like, oh, what all I had to do was walk forward a little bit. Like. Play around with it a little bit and get more comfortable with. So yeah, I would say that's the main thing. Let's see. Did you feel like on offense there was anything you were struggling with when it came to like opening me up or anything?
Trying to think back. I think really the main struggle I had was just getting in.
Okay.
And then like there's a lot of times where like against players like you, I struggle to get in. Once I finally get in, you just DP me and I'm not able to run any offense.
Okay.
So that like I feel like I use all my effort to get in, and then I don't actually get to do the part that I think I'm the best at the game,
Okay, so that's something I was wondering, because the main thing that I think I noticed on your offense was, like you said, you were struggling to get in, which is fine, right? You just need to get more comfortable with spacing, perfectly fine. But the times that you actually did get in, you didn't actually stay aggressive. I noticed you kind of shimmied on every single one of your drive rushes in. Like, you would drive rush, you would low forward in, and then you would shimmy. And I think, do you think that was partly because you were like scared of like me reversaling or something, or? Well,
there's one thing I think just in general recently, I realized that I run too much Oki and I don't shimmy as much.
Okay.
So I was getting DP'd by people I shouldn't be getting DP'd by, like over and over and over. Right. So maybe that's a subconscious adjustment that I've made.
Okay. Well, realistically, I can definitely see why you would do that if that's the case. But you got to remember, it's something that you got to be doing a mix of both instead of one or the other. But what I was gonna say was that I was gonna talk about conditioning earlier. I was gonna say you had multiple situations where you were actually able to get in on me. But the times that you got in, you didn't continue the aggression, like the offense. The reason I say that is because I think the more skill that you fight, like the more skilled a player is, the more likely they're going to hold that pressure most of the time. They're going to hold that throw. So what I'm saying is, when you drive rushing in, I'm not seeing enough throws. I think you really need to put the fear in someone's fucking brain of throw, because I don't feel like I got thrown too much. And with Terry, I think that's one of his strongest things. I mean, if you ever watch Riddles, I think his strongest thing that he does against players, he scares the shit out of them with how many times he throws them. He's drive rushing in, tick throwing him, drive rushing him, just raw throwing. When he's putting him in the corner, you know what you're getting put into. You know you're getting throw looped, and Terry's got some crazy throw loop pressure because he can mix it up and trick you in so many different ways. So I would say I would focus more, instead of thinking, okay, you know, this player might be a masher. You know, I got a drive rush in, I got a shimmy. They might throw. You know, they might try to tech. Before you try to make any assumptions, you need to like instead of making assumptions about how the person's gonna play, I think you need to condition them to play the way you want them to play instead. So if you want them to be like giving you the opportunity to shimmy, you have to give it to them. So that means you need to make them scared of throw before you decide, okay, now I'm going to try to shimmy the throw. Yeah, there's some people out there that, especially in ranked, that they're just mashing throw on the first time, right? But even throwing and then they tech the throw, what's the worst thing that happens? You gather information, you go, wow, this guy's really antsy. He's already mashing throw immediately, right? Like, he doesn't want to take a throw. That's information. And also, what do you get from teching a throw? Nothing. You don't take any damage. So, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. But that's how you gain information, in my opinion. So I would say when you're playing offensive, I think you need to keep your offense going a little bit. That doesn't mean stay on top of the guy the entire time. But like, you know, you drive rush in, like, I would make a decision pretty early. Like, try to make a decision about what you want to make the opponent scared of, right? The reason why I say throw is I think it's just the easiest one that any character, any person can do. Is just, you know, everybody has a throw. And it's an easy thing in this game to get scared of. So that's why I say it's a pretty easy thing to start manipulating the opponent's like defense with a little bit, and start putting the fear of throw in their mind. So yeah, I think starting off, those were kind of the main things. Was more I think you need to get a little bit more comfortable with your button placement so you can get in. And then once you are in, you need to be a little bit more confident from the start about what your game plan is when you're going to attempt to condition the opponent to be scared of you, so that you can take advantage of their fears and punish them, you know? So, whiff and throw, dang, I set up the throw, now he's probably going to tech for the next one, perfect, punish him, you know, I'm in their head.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I was going to say, I think your meter management was really good. I didn't see you overuse anything. You didn't burn yourself out too often. If you did, it was like, you know, I burned you out or something. So I don't think there was any situations where I would say you need to work on that. If anything, you're one of the more like safe Terrys I've ever fought. You know, a lot of Terrys I've been coaching or teaching around this level are usually like burn knuckle demons, and they just wanna drive rush, burn knuckle. Like, there was one or two times, I think, once you got a little nervous about how to get in on me, you started drive rushing. But I don't think there's anything wrong with once or twice to check the opponent, right? Like, at least once in a match, there's nothing wrong with hitting a drive rush. Do they have the reactions? You know, if they don't, cool. Yep. You have more information gathered, right? If they do, okay.
Yep.
Cross that one out. Now I know, right? So I don't think that was bad. You just got to future reference, like whenever someone punishes you for something and they do it very confidently, you go, okay, maybe I won't try that again because it's a little risky. Yeah, I think other than that, it was looking good. Nice combos, nice meter management. I will ask you though, when you're playing online, do you have, this is not something that obviously we could see in this specific session, but do you have, I know a lot of people, they tend to struggle with like specific characters or anything. Do you have any characters that you specifically struggle with?
Probably, you know, I've got something with every character.
Okay. No, that's how it should be. In my opinion, I think that's how it should be. Because you don't want it to be, your problem is, oh, I can't beat this character, right? That should never be the issue. Because they all have stuff that's difficult, but realistically, you should be, your problem shouldn't be lying with another character, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
But they're all difficult.
Honestly, probably my fans.
Okay. Yeah.
Ed, just something about him.
Okay. Yeah. No, if that's it, that's fine.
No, I mean, there's more. Yeah, Marissa, something about her, I just, like, I can't handle the big moves. Like, I mess up once, then I'm dead, or I block and I'm burnt out.
Yeah.
Oh, and Chun-Li.
Okay. That one makes sense.
She walks too fast.
She's too fast. So, I wanted to ask, like, because the first two you mentioned, I think, are incredibly appropriate. I completely get it, right? I wanted to see if when you're
Yeah.
struggling, are you struggling with just straight up privilege, or are you struggling with just character knowledge? And I think, like you said, it's a mix of both. So with characters like
Yeah.
Mai, Ed, I mean, they kind of do just control the screen. There's options that Terry has, obviously. You know, you can crack shoot on reaction over certain things. You can light jab and jab, not charge fans. You can jump over charge fans on pressure. You can parry Ed's flicker and stuff like that. But again, they still control the screen pretty comfortably without having to work as hard. In my opinion, I think Terry's best answer for a lot of these characters tends to be OD Fireball Walk-In. That option kind of just plays the game for you in some of these hard matchups. It's annoying to have to spend the bar, but just knowing that you have that option is really good. So just remember, if you're ever in a situation like a pinch, can't get in on this motherfucker. They're playing Mai, they're playing Ed, you know, can't get in. Always remember that OD Fireball is usually your best friend. But yeah, those are the good characters. I like that you said characters like Marissa, because she is what I would say is, you know, not usually considered that strong of a character. Although, doesn't feel too good to get killed in one hit, does it? Right? Like, I also will say I struggle with it too.
Honestly, I think the hardest part about it is Gladius looks like the most DI-able move,
Oh, but
and
it's
then
not.
you just get blown up.
So the struggling with Marissa tells me a lot too, because that I would say usually you can learn a lot about a person based off who's like their worst matchups. The other characters, like, who doesn't struggle with Mai and Ed, right? Like, this is how it is. Marissa, on the other hand, though, how do you beat Marissa? You play better footsies. That's, I think, a good example of where you're struggling right now, if that's who you're struggling with, because
Yeah, that makes sense.
it's kind of annoying, but that is kind of the logic behind Marissa, right? It's like, oh, but she can kill me in 2 hits, right? But it's like, the logic is like, you can't give her that opportunity.
Yeah.
What I would say is a lot of charge with Terry against Marissa. I think Terry does tend to do pretty well, but you just have to be knowledgeable about your options, right? So Terry does have, I believe it's the 3rd best crouch medium in the game. Crouch medium kick. I think it's Jerry, Chun-Li. I forget, or it might be Ken. You know what? Don't listen to me. Point is, he has one of the better.
I know it's good.
Medium. Yeah, it's good. It's good, right? Like, that's the point. It's very good. So I would be using it as much as you can in that matchup. And the other thing is that a lot of her stuff that's like charge, you can just drive reversal. Like, let's say you parried it, you don't want to lose meter, but then you see her going for some crazy plus frame setup. You're just like, I'm just going to drive reversal this. So if you're ever scared, you want to push her back, you want a minute to breathe, I wouldn't suggest like abusing drive reversal, but just knowing that you have it. Like, if you have the meter and you're like, oh, I don't want to take this like crazy ass pressure that's just going to kill my bar. Like, you know, at least, you know, you could spend it on your own terms. It's nice knowing that you can do that, but realistically the goal is to just keep her off of you, not too dissimilar from Zangief, and you want to stay a little bit outside of her, you know, farthest reaching, you know, normal, and you really want to try to get her to whiff so that you can punish her. So a lot of Marissa's whole thing, right? Her really only like real way to get in is to play with her normals. You know, she has some gimmicky buttons. She's got Superman Punch. She's got some stuff like that. But if you have good enough reactions, you can jab, DP, most of that stuff. So that's why I would say if you boil down that matchup, it really does just come down to, are your footsies solid enough? And if you can play and practice your footsies enough, and be a little bit more confident with your button placement and a little bit more confident with making the opponent whiff instead of you whiffing, then I think you won't struggle with people like that as much. But yeah, I like the walking forward that you're already doing. Just, you know, if you notice that the opponent has a want to throw out buttons while you're walking in, that's when you can take a note and go, okay, maybe next time I walk in, I walk right out, you know, so you can take advantage. There's many different ways to manipulate the opponent into throwing out normals. That's one of them. But I was just going off the fact that you already have a pretty confident like offense. I like that you're just walking forward, so you can definitely use that to your advantage. Scare the opponent, make them want to press. So yeah, definitely use that with not just Marissa, but in general, right? So your goal, I would give you is to just try to make the game as you want everything you do to be like very intentional, right? And I'm sure you know that, but like you said at the beginning, it's hard to put all these things in one, right? Like, even I'm still, you know, learning. We all are. We're all learning to put these things in one, like doing them all in one match. But that's, you know, you just start with one at a time. So I would watch a match and think about, what are you doing well? What do you think you're doing well, and what do you think you're struggling with? Then you can focus on those things specifically, and just try to get better at them, you know, one at a time. I do that all the time. I'll play a match. I'll go, okay, recently I've been struggling with this. I'm going to see how well I can do with that. That doesn't mean the whole game I'm focusing on that, but in those situations that I would be able to use those abilities, such as maybe my anti-airs need to get better, I'm waiting for those, and I can practice them a bit more. So just be more, you really want to work on being a bit more aware of, like, what it is that you're struggling with. And yeah, hopefully I was able to give you some possible things to work on, because I know that's the main issue sometimes is like, cool, I know that, but what do I need to work on, right? So
Right. No, yeah,
hopefully
you
that
did.
helped. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't want to overdo it or anything. I actually do feel like, I mean, I'm sure there's all things we could all learn, right, and get better at. But realistically, I think you're in such a good place already that I don't want to try to make you like think you need to change too much, because I really don't think you need to change much at all. I think you just need to be a little bit more confident with your buttons and not be as scared on offense, honestly. Like continue your aggression and gather as much information about the opponent as you can. And you'll be in a fine place. Your placement, like, other than your or no, actually no, when I wasn't walking out of your range, your placement was perfect, right? Like, so like, I know you have it in you definitely have it in you. Your defense was really good, so yeah, you're in a really strong spot, honestly, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you gave me what you think I should work on. I just was messaging my friends the other day, and I came up. So my recent thing to work on was with punishing.
Right.
Like, so when I've been getting coached or have some of the top players in my region watch me, we talked a lot more about mentality and like focusing, using ranked as a tool rather than just focusing on the number,
Right. Yeah.
So they were like, just pick one thing you want to get better at and work on that. So I worked on whiff punishing, which I was just getting walked down the entire time, but I was hitting whiff punishes.
Right.
And now I think my whiff punishes are, I mean, I can still work on them, but they're way better than they were. And just doing that bumped up my rank because I hit 1600 finally.
Yeah.
So after that, my new 3 things I want to work on is, you talked about meter management. There's a lot of times where I go for a whiff punish or a block punish. I don't know if my move is going to reach or if it's going to punish, so I just buffer the drive rush and burn on my meter, even though I could just do the crouching medium kick target combo and do a meter.
Right.
So I want to focus on that.
That makes sense.
Then I'm focusing on cross up distances, because I can do my cross cut, but a lot of times I scoop under because I'm not prepared to do the cross cut,
Got you.
So I want to like lab that distance down, so I have that down.
Okay.
And then I also want to start implementing DPOS on drive rush cancel.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I think those are great things to pay attention to. And honestly, like, when I say your whiff punish game needs to, I didn't mean to say your whiff punish game. I think more just I meant like your footsies game, as in like when you're fighting an opponent that throws you off, you should be like, oh, okay, this is when I need to start being a little bit more patient. Because that's what I was trying to tell you earlier, is like whenever you actually were, like whenever I would whiff, you took care of it. You know what I mean? So like you definitely have whiff punishes. You got those down. You just got to be in more comfortable spacing that you can take advantage of.
Yep, no, sure. Totally understand what you mean.
Yeah, because I was genuinely very impressed with that. It was like, you were saying you couldn't get in, but then whenever I would make a mistake, you took advantage of it, which was great. That was like exactly what you want.
Cool.
When it comes to the options, you were saying like drive rush, like not wanting to have to, what's it called, spend bar, and you don't know if it's going to work or not. Unfortunately, there is a lot of things in this game that are hit confirming, which is kind of annoying, but it's sometimes how it is. But I do agree with you, at least the drive rush, the low forward target combo is definitely an option with Terry. You just have to remember that higher level players will be aware that low forward target combo drive rush is fake technically. It can be OD reversal. I'm sure you know that at this point. But most players aren't going to punish it. But I would say still use it in your arsenal. But just remember that even Riddles, they use some other tricks as well. So sometimes they'll do OD fireball and stuff like that. Or, I like OD quick burn. Sometimes OD quick burn's nice.
I guess I was more talking about like moves that I have like a 90% chance that it's going to work. Like, I'm just not, like, if I block a sweep and I'm in range to punish with a crouch medium kick, I technically know it's gonna work, but like my brain thinks it might not work, so I buffer the drive rush behind it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah, dude. I mean, hey, that's honestly just a habit thing. That's something that we all have our habits that we got to work on. Yes, I used to do that exact same thing. It took me a while. I'm now, me and low forward target combo are fucking best friends, because trust me, back in the day, I was the exact same way. I completely get what you're talking about, because I used to, you don't want to take the risk. You know it's going to work. But I was like, well, I have to, but I got to get in. I got to make sure. I think something that helped me specifically get myself to be a bit more confident with it was to do something that made my spacing a lot more like intentional, and that was to use a lot more spacing traps mid-screen.
So I will say I agree with that. If I set up a spacing trap and I'm specifically looking for the whiff,
Right.
then my brain goes, okay, target combo.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
But like I just want to also do that in like reaction with punishes,
Yes.
you know.
Yes, you absolutely can. I guarantee you can. You just got to work on it. You just gotta yell at yourself when you don't do it, or whatever your habit is to get you to do it. Yeah, it's different for everybody, but yeah, I mean those are all really great things to focus on. I think you're learning this game in a very smart way already. I like that you're gathering as much information as you can from other sources. I think getting different perspectives is great. Because like a lot of the information, it's a lot of subjective information. Like a lot of the stuff I'm telling you, it's not objective. It's not like, oh, this is the answer, right? But like I think it helps to get more perspectives from other people. So I think it's smart you're doing that. Yeah. I mean, if you have any questions, let me know. But I think you're in a great spot right now. I would say focus on the things you were talking about and stick with them. And if you ever have questions, just let me know. Like if you got anything to ask, I'm in the server. So
Okay, sounds good.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate this. No,
Okay, good.
I think I'm good right now.
Okay, good. That's what I was hoping. I just wanted to make sure I cleared up everything. So
No, I'm good.
okay, awesome. Well, yeah, I wish you luck, man. I'm really excited to see where you end up next. And also, yeah, congratulations on High Master. That's genuinely really impressive. It's super hard to do. So I'm really happy for you, bro. You're cooking.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I look forward to hearing from you soon. But yeah, all right, bye, man.
All right. Yep. Catch you later.